Back in September, Warner Brothers released the newest film in the Conjuring universe, The Nun 2. And since I have reviewed every single one of those movies, let's go ahead and rank them since it is still October. So, let's get started. Number 9, last place, and easy. I see a lot of people have this one, and that's going to be Annabelle. This movie is just not good. There's one scary scene the entire movie, and the priest in this movie isn't terrible. The rest of the movie is complete trash. The rest of the scares are not very good. I don't like the main characters. I couldn't have cared less about the character with the tragic backstory who gets introduced halfway through. And honestly, most of the suspense was just non-existent. I did not care for this movie. I don't care about the fucking doll. I don't get why the doll of all artifacts or demons got a trilogy, but whatever, it's here at last place. Number 8, and I guess a slight leap in quality, you have The Curse of La Llorona. Now, I've seen a lot of people debate on whether this movie technically counts as a Conjuring film, but all technicalities, it does, because the priest from Annabelle shows up in this movie. And when your only connection to this universe is the character from the worst movie in the franchise shows up, you're not really on a good track. I think Linda Cardellini was really great in this movie. Raymond Cruz, when he shows up in the third act, really great. You know him as Tuco from Breaking Bad. He's a really great actor. Really loved his character in this movie. But the rest of the movie just wasn't that great. La Llorona had an interesting design, but I didn't really care for the portrayal of La Llorona. I don't know the whole lore about La Llorona, so I don't know how accurate it was. But I was not big on the portrayal. I did not like the third act whatsoever. With every time they solved something, the problem came right back, and it happened like 4 or 5 times. It was getting ridiculous. Yeah, not a fan of this movie, so it's here at number 8. Number 7, and a little bit more of a leap in quality, but this is a movie that I see a lot of other people have as their worst of the franchise, but this is going to be The Nun. I don't absolutely despise this movie like a lot of people who like these movies do, but I don't think it's great either. I think that the lead performances of both Taissa Farmiga and Demian Bichir are both really great. I really love the atmosphere of this haunted castle they're at, but it's another movie in this franchise that relies way too heavily on jump scares without earning the scares. And also, for a movie called The Nun is in it for a grand total of maybe 3 minutes. And I'm sorry, but when your movie is about this character, maybe she should be a bit more of a presence in the movie. But either way, I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's really a middle-of-the-road film, so it's here at number 7. Number 6 is even a little bit more of a leap in quality, and that's going to be The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This was directed by the director of The Curse of La Llorona, who I don't think is a bad director. I just don't think he was right to tackle a main Conjuring film. But I did enjoy the story to this movie a lot more than I remember enjoying it when I did rewatch this movie for this review series. Now, obviously, I did miss the haunted house aspect. I really missed James Wan's direction. But Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga were obviously great in this movie, as they were in the first two. And I did enjoy the courtroom drama stuff. I wasn't a huge fan of the whole witch being the villain. I didn't really care about that character. Great to see John Noble. But again, it's more of a middle-of-the-road film. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just kind of there. But I won't complain if I ever have to rewatch it. Number 5 is going to be the newest film in the franchise. That is The Nun 2. And this movie, while not vastly better than the first movie, still is a better movie than The Nun. It's got way better character work, a bit more of a faster pace to it, and I really liked the story here. I really liked the extra locations that we go to. And I honestly really like the third act of this movie. Even though the way that everything was solved was even stupider than the way they solved the problem in the first Nun, I thought that the story was actually pretty solid here. Taissa Farmiga comes back. She does a great job. Storm Reed is in this movie. And she's just really impressed me lately with her performances with the Suicide Squad, The Last of Us. She shows up in an episode of that, and in Missing. She's just really impressed me lately with her film choices and the way she portrays the characters that she's chosen to portray. She's a great actress. I'm really excited to see where she goes in the future. But also, not enough nun action. Valak is barely in this movie. Maybe Nun 3 will actually show us more Valak. I don't know. But yeah, it's right here at number 5. Number 4 is going to be Annabelle Creation. And from here on out, these are the great movies. 4-1, these are the great movies in the franchise. I thought this was a huge step up in quality from the first Annabelle. As you can tell, I did not like the first Annabelle. I really loved the setting of this countryside home. I really liked the whole explanation as to what the fuck Annabelle is, where this creepy ass doll came from. And I really liked the new characters we get in this movie. And I also kind of like the way that it ties into the first Annabelle movie. And I hate to say it, but it does retroactively make the first Annabelle a little bit better with a bit of the context that you get in this movie. But the first Annabelle still sucks, so don't think that's me giving the first Annabelle props. That's me giving this movie props because it made the first Annabelle make a little more sense. So yeah, I really like this movie. I love the creepy atmosphere, and the scares were earned. So yeah, great movie here at number 4. Number 3, and I guess this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to have Annabelle Comes Home here at number 3. Now, I can already hear people getting mad at me about this entry, but I love this movie. It's easily the most fun of the franchise. It's silly, it's campy, it's goofy, it knows what it is. It's Night at the Museum from hell. That's literally what it is. But I loved the world building in just this movie. You get introduced to a whole bunch of new artifacts and new demons. The samurai suit, which was featured in the first 2 Conjuring movies, actually has a bit of a segment in here. You get the bride dress, the ferryman, the Feely Mealy game. I love everything that's introduced in this movie. And yes, I know a lot of this stuff wasn't even based on real cases that the Warrens took on, but it was just fun to get all this stuff in this movie. Like I said, it's Night at the Museum from hell. What do you expect? I mean, I had fun with it. I love it. So it's here at number 3. Number 2, the runner-up, is going to be The Conjuring 2. I feel like this movie took everything that the first Conjuring did and they upped it to 1,000. And while I don't think it's better than the first one, I think it's just about on the same level. You get Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. Obviously, they're great. You get a brand new villain with Valak, who is probably becoming the most iconic villain from this franchise with the Nun, and also the Crooked Man, which I kind of wish we got a prequel about the Crooked Man, some kind of twisted fairy tale film. I don't know, maybe that'll be an episode in the Conjuring series that's going to be coming out on HBO Max or whatever they're going to be calling it whenever that show finally hits it. I'm really excited for that, whatever. But I really love this movie. I thought it was great. You get some really great character moments where Patrick Wilson sits down, he plays guitar, and he sings for this family that's being terrorized. I thought that was a really cute little character moment. And I think that the action in this movie was really great as well. And like I said, you get some great development for our heroes, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, and a really good third act. So it's here at number 2. But number 1 for me is going to be the original, The Conjuring. I mean, was there ever any doubt that this was going to be number 1 for me? Not for me. I love this movie. This is one of the few horror movies that was actually able to scare me, and honestly still gets to me a few times when I do rewatch it. I rewatch this movie and the second one specifically at least once a year because James Wan is just a master at this type of subgenre. Like I said, when I did the Insidious films, the first Insidious was kind of him testing the waters with the haunted house genre. This movie was him perfecting what he was doing with the Insidious films. You get practical effects, you get excellent jump scares, terrific atmosphere. This movie is why I love horror. I personally think that this is the best modern day horror movie we have had yet. Others might not think so. I think this is a great movie, but it's okay if you don't think so. But yeah, I love this movie. It's absolutely terrific, so it's here at number 1. So that was my ranking for all 9 Conjuring films. What's your ranking of this franchise? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.